It is time for GMs to unleash their creativity and bring new life to the desert of dungeon module design. Most game masters know the unavoidable limitations of the game module. Whether it's in print or PDF format, you're going to get walls of text. You're constantly searching for information, flipping, scrolling, slowing the game down. Your RPG adventure module could look like this instead, designed to be interactive. The home icon always takes you to this contents page. I've divided this RPG module into 4 basic areas: NPCs, creatures, maps, and then finally the story elements. Let's jump to the GM cheat sheet. As you can see, there is a variety of information available. No huge text blocks, get graphical information icons, information pop-ups, easily accessed information. Let's jump to the map page where all map links are located. Select the main map. Okay, GMs, you're going to love this. This is an 8-room cavern map with all the information a GM needs right at their fingertips. Exit to camp info, get a basic description pop-up. Need some mine area info, just hit the mine area, get the basic description pop-up, a little refresher. If you need more information, click on the room number. Read more content about the mine. Okay, just watch this. Click another icon and get a point of view content. Instead of an overhead view, the GM can look down the mine tunnel with this point of view. And then we can quickly jump back to the main map. Boom, all done. Let's look at room number 6, the Chthonic Maw lair. Of course, you can click on the words and get the basic info pop up. Your basic description, a little refresher. And say the GM needs to find out deeper information about the creature, the Chthonic Maw. You can read a little deeper on it right here. And yes, I do use AI to assist me. Check the basic stats. If that's not enough, you can go even deeper, read more about the Chthonic Maw, description and physical appearance. All the other information you might possibly need to learn about the creature. And then we can head right back to the main map. So that was a brief demo, and let me explain a little bit more about what's going on. Howdy, my name is Todd Massey, and welcome to Do You Open the Door? You can get my newsletter at doyouopenthedoor.com. I've been playing and GMing D&D since I was in high school. That was in 1980, or about 45 years. That alone doesn't make me an expert or even a good GM, but it does mean I have a perspective steeped in old school rules. And I'd like to introduce a new method of designing RPG modules, specifically to make the lives of game masters easier while running an adventure. Come on, let me show you. The Rusty Lantern. Looks like a tavern for moneyed merchants. Yep, plenty of business deals down here. So we got the bar to the left, some tables, fireplace, nice. Got some seating upstairs, yep. How about a booth, yeah? Yeah, I know. Let's grab this corner table over here. You can put your back to the wall. You got a window to jump out of or some stairs to escape up if this need arises. All right, so now we can talk a few minutes. What do you think about the tavern we're sitting in? I'll give a little shout out to the creator there using Dungeon Alchemist. I'm not an affiliate or anything. That's just the map making tool that I like to use. I think it's pretty awesome. So anyway, what'd you think about the demo? Completely stupid, worst idea ever, literally game changing, truly awesome, let me know. I want to share with you a new way to design adventure game modules based on what I call Emergent Adventure System, or EAS. This is not another rule set or set of game mechanics that seem to be flooding the market these days. It's a fresh new way to look at designing modules targeted to GMs to make their lives easier when running any module built with EAS methods. All right, so here are the main problems of print or PDF modules. You can't find information at all. You can't find information quickly. You end up flipping through pages if it's a print book, or scrolling up and down if it's a PDF. You've got giant blocks of text, which make it difficult to find information. Maps with very little detail. You have dense text room descriptions when they should be image-based, really, because that's how you help to reduce large blocks of text. Is the more information you move onto the map, the less text you need. You get PDFs with 3 columns of text on a page that you have to scroll up and down to read. That's one of my pet peeves. Modules that are written for one rule set or written for a narrow range of character levels, like a rule set, an RPG that is written for the rule set of D&D, or it's written for character levels 3 through 5. All of these design constraints and guardrails imposed by print or PDF methods can be eliminated if you use my EAS suggestions and a digital design platform. So what is the Emergent Adventure System, or EAS? It's just a method or workflow for RPG module design to make the GM's life easier. That's all I ever wanted to achieve here. When I was thinking about this for myself, how to make my life easier as a GM running a module, how can I make every GM's life easier when they run a module? And this is the workflow or method that I came up with. And I would just like to say that I have no financial interest in the tools that I'm using and suggesting here on the video. I'm not selling a map tool. I use Dungeon Alchemist. I backed them when they were in Kickstarter, and it fits my brain, the way my brain works, and it achieves what I want when I'm designing dungeons. I'm not selling a design tool. I use Genially because it fits the way my brain works. It also produces the content that I like. I can build dungeon modules in it the way I want. So EAS, if you follow my EAS suggestions, it can eliminate large text blocks. As we know, that's one of the big problems with regular module design in print or PDF format. You get these large text blocks. How do we eliminate large text blocks? Well, it's done in several ways. One way is you use layered information. If you remember when I showed you the map in the demo, the main map, I would click on some words like the mine area, and it would come up with a pop-up that showed brief details or basic information about the mine area. And that is just to give the GM some reminders about what that mine area entails. Now, if they want, from the brief descriptions, if they need more, they can click deeper and read more details about the room that they're in. And I generally tried to stick with like 3 layers of information. Um, Remember back in the main map when I was looking at the Chthonic Maw room, and you could, if you clicked on that room, you could get some information about the Chthonic Maw, the creature that could be in there, and it's just enough to give the GM enough information that he can continue to run the creature if he's aware of how that creature is designed. If he's not aware or has forgotten something, he can click down for deeper details and um, start to read some general information about the creature. And if that's not enough, there's a 3rd layer of information about the creature. Did the same thing with NPCs. They're basically broken up into 3 layers whenever you encounter them. Brief information, then general information, then deeper information. Detailed maps don't need descriptions. The map is everything. And when I say detailed maps don't need descriptions, I'm being a little bit hyperbolic there. Yes, you do need some descriptions, but the idea is that the map is everything. The GM should be able to stay on the map, look at the map, and be able to run the dungeon from the map. That's the goal. It has to appear and look like it's a 1-page dungeon from the way it looks and behaves. The GM should basically never need to leave the main map to go search up information. What he needs is right there. Continuing on with what is EAS. Finding information is a result of smart layered information and smart linking structure. I've already talked about layered information. Linking structure, in the demo module that I showed you, I have 4 main categories where information is broken up and grouped into. And that's the story elements, the creatures, the NPCs, and the maps. And from those 4 main areas, you spread out into all the related subject matter. There's no read aloud in my designs. I think I think read aloud is dumb, and it's repetitive and takes up space that it doesn't need to. The GM already has all the information they need about how to describe a scene or a setting, and they should just describe it in their own voice, like they've always done. Digital design allows for wild interactive maps to benefit GMs. What I mean by that is, at least with Genially, their tool allows for you to set up object or elements to appear or disappear. And so you can, and this is part of the layering that goes on, is you could layer maps on top of each other, and you can say you have a map of a village that the GM can then click on a building rooftop. The building rooftop will disappear, and the GM can then see inside the structure at the details and design of the interior, which is really nice. You basically have multiple maps stacked together that the GM can look at. You can create player-facing content. Just like you can create all this wonderful stuff for the GM, you can do kind of the same thing for player-facing content. And you can have a entirely different Genially set up for player information. I did this at a con that I went to where I first presented my method, and I had a little tablet set up that was connected to a TV, a large TV, and what appeared on the tablet appeared on the TV, and that faced the players, and I could reveal information to the players that I wanted to. Um, Room designs, images, and so there you can have like almost like player handouts. You can, when you do this in a digital format, you can email the player a link or let them scan a QR code or however you want to handle it. But you can get that player facing content to the player. I think that this EAS method allows for solo adventure design that hasn't been seen before. I am not a solo adventure player. I've never done it. All I've done is studied it. I've looked at a bunch of videos and tried to understand what solo adventure was about. And I believe that using EAS methods and digital design structure, that this is perfect for solo adventures. Because of the way you can reveal information or keep information hidden until it's needed, I think is a perfect structure for solo adventure play. And the overall, and I've mentioned this before, overall the design should feel like a one-page dungeon. That was part of my goal, along with trying to make everything easier for the GM, to make their life easier when running an adventure. I always liked the way one-page dungeons felt, and even a large dungeon, when designed this way, can feel like a one-page dungeon. So a few more things to mention. These are specific to GDLE, and probably any design tool that you want to try, these functions will probably be available to you. I don't know. But you can insert multiple types of media like GIFs and video. It just works in a browser. It just works either online or you can download it. You saw my demo was done on a small tablet. It looks great on the tablet, big tablet, PC. You can cast it to a TV, and then also you can sell a digital download package, much like a PDF, which is really, if that's your goal, to build dungeon modules to sell to people, you can do that. So let me show you this simple demo of a simple map. And before I get started, let me just say that I think that this is a really good way to dungeon prep. When you're prepping for a dungeon, you can put all your information in a digital format like this, have it on one page, have a tablet or a PC in front of you ready to go, and there's everything you need for the dungeon for the evening on one page. It is really good for, if you buy a dungeon module through like DriveThruRPG and you get a download package and it's got a digital map in it. You upload the digital map and then you highlight it the way that you want. You can put all kinds of information from the dungeon that you just purchased onto this overlaid on your map. And that makes it much easier than trying to run it off of a PDF or making paper notes. I think it just works a lot better for you. So, of course, as I've said from the beginning, Any information can be displayed or revealed, but the goal should be to make it easy for the GM to locate the information they need when they need it. Here's a simple little dungeon idea. I've got this pagoda-looking temple here, and it pops up a little basic information. I just have some dummy info in here. I don't have any real information in here. It's just to show you some of what's possible. So here you've got a little corridor, 4 rooms, and this corridor is highlighted in green. And that kind of thing is just to help trigger, to act as a trigger for the GM to let him know, oh yeah, this corridor is about X, just by having it color highlighted. So you can have that highlighted area be a pop-up. And so this is a slime-filled corridor, right? A little bit of basic info or whatever you need there to remind the GM or remind yourself about what this is about. Here's the green slime information that I got off the internet and copied and pasted it into here. And so here we have a some door information for the GM, and you can always pack in more information, right? There's an image that you can show the players as they approach the door. You can tell them what the door looks like and show it to them. Another little bit of information in here is temple storage chamber, yada yada. Here we've got a trapped door, snake venom dart trap. Ooh. And so you would have the details or whatever you need. Set it up any way you like. So you're only limited by your imagination and how you display information to yourself or to other GMs. Now, don't get me wrong about print media and books. I love books. Been reading science fiction since I was 12. My wife is a published fantasy author that reads 3 books a week. Loving this book. I'm almost done with it. Andy Weir's Project Hail Mary. Books with wonderful stories and art should be cherished. That doesn't mean that they're the best medium for a GM to run an RPG module. At the very least, when a publisher sells an RPG module that includes digital content along with the book, that digital content should also be an interactive module, because that's the best way to present an RPG module for playability. Books are great, just not great for playing RPG modules. That's all for now. I appreciate the time you've spent with me, and I would love for nothing more than for you to come play with one of my dungeons and have a really fun time with your friends.